Hi, I'm Minotaur. I think tier lists are kind of neat, but I'm by no means an expert at them. So, what if I brought the world's renowned tier list guy to help me out? Say hi, Showerhead. All
Hello,
right,
that's me.
amazing. So, on my channel, we are making the Defender tier list. On Showerhead's channel, we have the Attacking tier list. Make sure to tune into that
Yes,
one.
sir.
Very exciting.
It was an interesting video, and if this one goes the same as that one, I'm sure the viewers will love it. So stick around to the end, guys.
Yeah, well, a good start for us is that I actually hit start recording instead of realizing that we weren't recording an hour in. Um,
Uh-oh. Hey, we don't talk about it. We move on.
yep. All right. Alibi.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and give my opinions on Alibi first, right? Because
Go
Alibi for
for it.
me, half the people pick her just for the SMG, and I
Yeah.
don't think the gadget is the greatest, especially in higher ranks. I would personally go B,
B. All
maybe
right.
C. What do
Maybe
you think?
C. That's what I think.
Yeah, see, okay. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. We can rejig later depending on who goes where, but I think B or C is a good starting point.
Yeah.
She's a hard one to place first. Let's put
I.
it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the SMG. I actually don't like it. I get a lot of people like the SMG, but I personally
I
don't.
I agree. I also don't like it, and I don't play Alibi like ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play Alibi because I don't like the gadget or the gun. The gadget is just kind of mid.
Yeah,
Like you
I
just
agree.
you just don't shoot Alibi clones after a while. All right, well, Rooney, what do you think?
Once again, I really like a Rooney. Throw
All
you off a
right.
bit there. But I know for a fact you're not going to agree with me because you're not a big fan of the DMRs, are you? See, whenever I play a Rooney, I'm thinking the kitchen bomb site on Emerald Plains works very well. Head glitching on that whatever the kitchen countertop thing is. I would personally go high end of B, low end of A, but
Ooh,
you might not agree with me here.
I actually
A
kind of
tier.
actually like I have a couple sites where I insta pick a Rooney.
Yeah,
As
I
as
think
for
she's very strong.
as for the DMR, the randoms have spoken on several occasions how upset they are with me for choosing the SMG. I switch between them, to be honest. Like the DMR is good, but again, I don't have the best trigger finger, so I prefer the SMG.
To be
But
fair,
the DMR is
I
good.
think I
So
think if she had a better full auto secondary, not saying that the P10 Roni's bad, but I personally don't like it. Maybe I would pick that over it. But when it comes down to that DMR on defense and a P10 Roni, I run the DMR most of the time, and it works out great for me. I love DMRs in Siege.
yeah, I mean the P10 Roni, I think I like the gun. I think the only issue with that gun, like the thing that stops it from being overpowered, is the magazine size. Zero
Exactly. Yeah,
recoil,
I agree.
super quick fire rate. It's a good
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, ready? Zombie.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think Azami has always been S tier since she's released. And even with the recent nerfs, I would personally keep her in S tier. I think high end of A tier would also work, but I don't think the nerf to her, where her barriers now have HP, has even done too much, to be completely honest.
I think that I don't think it's possible to have a zombie in A, B, or C. And
No.
you're like, oh, what about D? I'm saying if they nerf a zombie enough, she will be in D. She'll just skip all of this. She's either really good or she'll be really, really bad, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you can make a zombie mid. I don't think it's possible.
See,
Um,
I like where she's at now because before people were using it way too much to like just sit behind and hide behind completely bulletproof stuff. That's not how she's supposed to be played. It's like angles, line of sights, and like making bad bomb sites playable and different areas of bomb sites playable. And she's still great at that. And I don't think any other operator in the game does anything similar to her. So S tier.
yeah, I mean, I think that the thing that makes defenders strong is just how much they can skew a match. If you can
Yeah,
just flat out build a wall where you want one, like
yeah,
that's so strong. Like
yeah. It's good for delaying as well, isn't it? Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Bandit. What do you think?
Bandit, very strong, good loadout. Obviously, if you're good at bandit tricking, can almost single-handedly keep a wall unopened.
Yeah,
I would go at the lowest A tier, but even above a Rooney
I agree. I think
at the
that
lowest.
if you are a newer player, then you're better off with Cade. You'd save up for Cade and get him,
Yeah,
because like if you don't know how to trick, Cade is better. But if you do know how to
yeah,
trick, a good bandit is just so annoying to face. So I think he's A. I don't think he's S, but he's also not.
yeah. No, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So far we're really agreeing on defenders. Castle.
Also, really depends on the bomb site and the player. I think if you're new to the game, you might hinder your team more than help. But I think when played right, easily gets into A tier.
All right. I think that if you are your boy Roy, it's S tier. But I think for everyone else is definitely spread around. It really
Yeah, yeah,
depends on the player.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
like he's D tier if you installed yesterday. I'm sorry, he just is. But
Yeah, because if you put it on the wrong doorway, you're just stopping your like roamers from getting back to site, or you're stopping yourself from being able to flank.
I say this as a kind of almost castle main because I don't really main an op. I usually pick what we need a lot of the time. But if I have an excuse to
Understand.
play castle, I play castle, and I say he's B tier. That's my opinion.
And I'm okay with that. I do like the fact he has a super shorty though.
Super shorty's amazing.
Yeah.
UMP 45 is my gun as well. I don't know why. I'm really good with it.
Yeah,
Um,
once again, laser beam. Great.
exactly. Laser
I
beam.
like it as well.
Really high damage for an SMG too.
Yeah.
Kavira, what do you think?
Kavira, see, she can completely change around with one interrogation,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like Amara on attack for me. It's like if you can get it off, it's great, but more times than not, you're better off picking someone else. But I'd say C tier for
C
Kavira.
tier.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
depending on how this tier list goes, I don't mind bumping her down, but I don't think she gets higher than C.
I think that the disagreements are starting to pour in because I think she's D tier. Kavira sucks. Like
Well, like I said, I might agree with you by the end of this tier list by putting her in D, but I don't know. See, looking at who we have left to rank, I think there are definitely operators that are maybe worse than her. So we'll have to wait and see.
I think that for Kavir, like there's the 1% that's just absolutely horrible to face if they have a Kavir because they're just always in that place that's like, why were you there?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I think if it's one of them, it's probably A or B tier. But for like 99%, it's like pick someone else, please. Be
yeah. I'd
useful.
agree with that.
I
I'm
think
happy
D
with
tier.
that. I'm happy
All
with
right,
that.
Clash. I think we can agree.
See, I would agree DT is probably where she belongs, but I just want to say some people jump the gun. I think if you are in a coordinated team, Clash can be really useful at delaying for like stupid long times. But she definitely belongs DT.
She kind of like she can function as an almost mobile mirror, like where
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
you
yeah.
have someone follow. She sticks to a door frame and then you just kind of
Yeah, you need a good team. If you're solo queuing, she's below D.
yeah.
She's below D. Not
Again,
viable at all.
yeah, I agree. I think we'll leave her at D for now.
That's fine. I'm okay with
Um,
this.
Doc. I don't know what you think about Doc.
Doc's an interesting one for me. I don't have anything negative to say, but I'm not one of those people who love Doc. So I just say maybe low end of A, high end of B.
He's a really selfish pick. Like I
Yeah,
am like, oh, what, you don't play him? I do actually play him. I do play Doc quite a bit, but that's if the default site setup works a lot of the time, so I don't really feel the need
yeah,
to take something fancy out. I'll just take Doc.
yeah. You kind of have to know how to position yourself as well. And it's kind of like if you're in a position where you can stim someone who needs it and it makes the difference in a round, then it was worth picking. But there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to do that. And if you're one of the first people to get picked, then you're better off going someone else.
Yeah, I
So.
I stimmed
It's
the
a weird
same
one. It's a
guy.
hard one to rank.
I stimmed the same guy 3 times one round, and you know what? It was worth it because he got a 4K. So like
Yeah,
there's that one round where it works really well, but a lot of the time it doesn't really add too much. So
yeah. It's a hard one to rank because a good dock player is good, but it's not always necessary. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
I agree. Echo. I think I'll rank this one first. I think he's
Yeah, I think
B.
you need to.
I think he's B because I mean
You know
like
what? I would agree.
I think that the drone is it's all right. Like if you're the right guy,
Yeah.
it's a lot of defenders. It's just are you the right guy for this op? But it's true for a lot of them. Like Echo is really good. Um, like the drones they're fine. If you don't know what you're doing, if you play him just the drones, he's not that good. If you forget you have
Yeah.
drones, he's not that good. The gun is great. The MP5 SD, absolutely amazing gun. But
Um,
it's not enough to get him any higher in my opinion.
yeah, I say this in like every tier list I've ever done, if you go back in my channel over the last few years, but Echo just doesn't suit my play style. So every time I play him, like I might have a good round or two. Yes, he's good for post plant, or not post plant, but denying the plant if you're the last one left and a million miles away from sight. But that's quite niche once again. So I think he's similar to Doc, very hit or miss, very situational.
Yeah, maybe I should be locked up or something, but I think that if I'm ever in a 1v1, I don't pick Castle, I'm probably Echo. He's really good for 1v1s. Um
I just never 1v1, so
it's fun. I only got people to play with recently. But it's quite it's enjoyable 1v1. Ella
I think you go first again on this one.
B. Honestly, the gun's fine. Like if you don't hit your
Yep.
shots, then like if you hit like one or two, it's like oh no anyway. Um, really bad at range because of recoil. Like the recoil, if you're close, it's fine. People are like just control it, just pull down. You, I'm convinced these people have never tried to shoot more than 20 meters away. Um,
Yeah.
like it's not that good at range. The playable shield's really good with the gadget. You can just kind of chill behind it. Someone triggers the mine and then you swing on them. It's
See,
I
Ella
kind
for
of
me, when she first released, she was a lot stronger, obviously. She released arguably one of the most busted operators in the game. But I just use her gadget more now for like sound cues, if anything. I just hide them and use them for sound cues because they never go off in a gunfight for me and it work out. You know what I mean?
well they do people seem to pre-fire a lot when they get blinded. So
Yeah.
word of advice: if your Elamine triggers someone, don't go over the shield. Go on the side. Swing crouched on the shield. It's a free kill because they don't expect it. So, what do you agree with the Ela ranking or no?
I think low end of B tier would be the highest she climbs for me. I think C tier, higher than Alibi, would be the right pick for me.
All right,
But I'm okay with where you've put her for now.
I like holding blue on Chalet with Ella. I'll say that. A lot of other
You know,
maps, I don't.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I know exactly the spot you're talking about.
Yeah, Fenrir. I don't think this one needs too much discussion, even with the nerf.
No, he's busted. Even with the nerf, he's just going to be able to get his like recharges back or whatever they're called. Um, yeah, S tier. Same as Azami. You can try nerf them, but if you nerf this and Blackbeard, I guess you know what I mean. They're all operators where if they work as intended, they're broken.
Yeah,
And if you nerf them to the point where it's not even worth the point in running them, they just drop all the way down to D tier.
I
So
completely agree. Completely
yeah,
agree.
I think those two still belong in S even after the nerfs.
There's nothing
And
bad
it's got
about
a good
Fenrir.
loadout as well. Yeah,
Exactly.
good loadout. Bailiff for setting up site. Barbed wire. Like, there's not a single bad part about his kit.
Yeah, I agree. Frost. What do you think?
Frost's an interesting one because I actually used to play her quite a lot before the rework, and then since the rework, I just don't think I've played her at all. But I think the ACOG on her SMG was a good thing because you can kill anyone from any range with that because it has zero recoil. Um, but I think overall she's just not that useful, so I'd probably go B tier again.
Really?
Yeah,
I think she's A tier. Like there's I do play Frost quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
I think my top site for Frost is karaoke on Skyscraper.
Okay.
Fantastic spot. You put one geisha window, karaoke window, and then you put one on one of the stairs.
Yeah.
It's so easy to hold geisha with Frost. It's I think that Frost is probably A tier.
Okay. Well,
I don't think she's
once again,
S.
we can leave her there for now. We can do a reshuffle when we're like halfway through the video, I reckon.
All right, yeah, that
But for
works.
now, yeah, that's fine for me as well.
All right, Goyo. I'm really curious to see what you think of Goyo. I think Goyo
See,
is a litmus test of
Goyo
skill.
for me is good. I'd go A. He does everything Tachanka does and better. And I like the vector, and I don't know why Ubisoft gave him the ACOG, but it actually works way too well.
I understand Ubisoft giving him the vector because I mean
Yeah,
like he's like a your team asks for area denial and you're like, but I don't wanna. You know what? I'll take Goyo,
yeah,
and then you place it and then you leave. You go somewhere else. He's meant for roaming, but still giving your team area denial. I think he's a good op.
mm. Yeah. I like him. A tier. I think the ACOG has actually helped him a little bit, actually.
I mean he did have the 1.5 before.
Yeah, but he's kind of like found his role now because all these other operators that had the 1.5, they've like they found their level pretty much. You know what I mean? Since
Yeah,
the reshuffle of scopes.
I agree. I agree. I do think that he's definitely one of the better ops. He's not S, but he's good.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Jaeger. What do you think of Jaeger?
You can do Jaeger. You can do Jaeger. I'm interested.
He's B. Honestly, like
You know what? I'd agree. I think the gadget A tier if we were doing gadget alone because it's quite useful. Not as good as it used to be because you used to get three of them. But I think where Jaeger's just been nerfed into the ground over the years, he's become mid. You know what I mean? Like he's a good pick. It's never going to be bad, but there's better operators now.
yeah. I think that people I don't get people who play Jaeger a lot of the time because there's better options, which brings us to
Yeah,
Wamai. I think Wamai's A
better
tier.
weapon, better scope on the weapon. Gadget does the same thing. Um, you get more of them if you stay alive for the whole round. And I think he's faster now as well, isn't he? Well, mine's a 3 speed.
Is
Jaeger's
he?
2.
I thought Wamai was a 2 speed as well.
I might be mistaken there, but either way,
I mean the thing is with Wamai is like yeah, if there's like a flashbang or something, it'll still go off, but
yeah,
you can hide these a lot better.
mm,
Um, you have a better gun, you
yeah,
know, like
for sure.
impact grenades as well, so you can make your own rotate. I think Wamai is just better in Jaeger, but better than Jaeger in almost every single way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, all around, I think this season he's just great. I think, to be honest, I wouldn't hate it if Ubisoft gave Jaeger the ACOG back and maybe a little bit of a buff to his weapon,
In my opinion,
just to compete with Wamai again.
they should give it to him. He needs it. He's
I think it'd be great, like publicity slash like advertisement for the season as well that they
yeah
bring it with.
yeah.
There'd be a lot of hype around that for
You
sure.
you know what? We forgot to rank recruit first, like we did with yours.
Uh oh.
I think we should do that. Do you have any strong feelings for recruit?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I've seen a lot about the attacking recruit. I don't even know what the loadout is like for the defensive recruit. What do they get?
He has Mozzie's SMG, the Commando 9.
Okay,
I believe he has the Jaeger shotgun, the German one,
okay.
M870.
So the loadout's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. I'm interested to see how it performs. I would probably go B tier, um, just as like a generic placement because I don't want to overhype it. But I think maybe the ability of bringing extra utility might be stronger on defense than it is on attack. I don't know though. We'll have to just wait and see.
See, a lot of the people were like a lot of content creators were talking about how the attack one is way better than the defender one, but honestly, when I tried the test server, super buggy, by the way, Come on, Ubisoft. But yeah, there sometimes the defender one just doesn't have a head. By the way, like it's quite
Oh
literally
my god, that's
there's no
crazy.
model. There's no model for it all of the time.
What the hell?
Um, and yeah, you can't really queue with multiple people. At least when we tried yesterday, you couldn't. Um, and personally, I enjoyed the defender one more than the attacker one. Like the
Yeah,
deployable shield and nitro cell is just so fun because you can just kind of watch. It's like, yeah, hop in,
yeah.
and then you just toss the nitro cell at them. It's fun.
See, what I think does it is on attack in general. I feel like a lot of the operators rely on their individual gadgets, whereas a lot of the defenders, like I don't know, Fenrir, Wamai, Frost, even they're kind of set it and then go roam, kind of, or maybe not roam, but you put your gadget down to help the team, and then it's not like an active thought for the rest of the rounds. You just kind of got to hold angles and be patient. So to bring extra utility, I don't think. Hang on, let me rephrase this. What I think is that the attacker operator is going to be missing out more not having an actual gadget than the defender one. That's my point I'm getting at here.
Maybe I think that the defender one's underrated for what the content creators are saying.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
with the attacker being B tier, I don't feel like this guy can be lower than B tier. Personally, like I just think he's really he's really
I'm
good.
happy with a low end of A. I'm happy with a low end of A.
All right.
That's fine by me.
Speaking of which, do you think we should maybe reshuffle these, put them in better orders? Personally,
Um,
I think Fenrir is still more busted than Azami.
yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think with A tier, it's almost perfect. Maybe I'd move one my up. Yeah, probably above Bandit, to be honest.
I'd actually put him first place.
Yeah, just
Oh,
missing out on S tier. That's fine as
yeah,
well.
I think so.
I think B tier's okay. I think if
I
anyone
would
was to go down,
I take
it would be
Jaeger
Ella.
above. I take Jaeger above. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ella can go down.
but I would put Ella above Alibi though, down in C tier.
All right.
And that looks fine to me. Maybe by the end of this, Kavira bumps up, but I'm okay with her in D tier
I think I
for
want to
now.
move Echo down just a little bit.
That's fine as well. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Kaed.
Uh,
However the heck you want to say this guy's name.
yeah. Well, I feel if Bandit's in A tier, Kaid minimum has to be in A tier.
Completely agree.
And once, I think it depends on the bomb site because certain bomb sites have like really good hiding spots, which are hard for the attackers to get rid of. Um, but it's really down to if you can bandit trick or not, which way
Yeah.
around they go.
I
But
think
yeah, I
well
think they're both great.
I I I prefer him over Bandit, honestly. Like if it's
Yeah,
really important that the wall doesn't get open, I'll think about cave tricking because I can do that. The only real way to stop me is to be at like predict that I'm gonna do it because people don't
yeah,
seem to expect that you're gonna cave trick. But if it's like
no,
really important, then I'll take Bandit. But I
yeah, yeah.
still prefer taking Cade.
See, the way I put it down to is Cade's gadget is better, Bandit's loadout is better. So it's really just down to which one of those you want. Do you want the better gadget or do you want the better loadout?
Yeah, I agree. Capcan.
I want your opinion on this because to the viewers at home, I am a console player mainly. I don't really dabble in a lot of ranked, but I have been playing a lot of like standard recently. Whereas you're on PC a lot of the time. You play quite a lot of ranked, don't you?
I play a bit. Like
You play a bit of ranked, yeah,
I only recently actually got into ranked because again I didn't really have anyone to play with before, but I do
yeah.
now. So I've actually started playing ranked, and I have heard on console they ban Capcan a lot.
I think Capcan even to this day, maybe other than Fenrir, is the most banned operator. He's up there, and it's because he is busted on console because no one checks for Capcan traps. No one does it on
On
PC. It's like quicker and easier. You just flick down, check the corners.
see
Console, no one does it.
on PC it's completely different because like
Yeah,
it's one of those things where you'll get a Capcan kill and that's it. You're
yeah,
not
that's
getting
it.
another for the
Not
rest
for
of the
the rest of
match.
the round. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, rest again is what I meant.
and it's also not that big of a deal because like you're looking around, you see a Capcan, you just boom, it's gone, and you're already aiming at head level again. I
Yeah,
think Kapkan's much better on console than he is on PC. I still play him a lot on PC, but I also don't think that
yeah.
he's as good as
I
he
I
would be
just
in
like
console.
the VSN as a SMG as well. I like that quite a lot. But as someone who's been playing console for so long, I think Capcan's my most played defender, and I have gone rounds where I've got a kill minimum with the Capcan trap every round
Okay, well,
and won a game.
where would you put him?
If this was a console tier list, I'd put him maybe above Wamai in A tier, maybe just missing out on S tier. But if we're talking about the game overall, taking both sides into consideration, I'd just go B tier.
See, I was thinking B tier in general, but
Yeah,
if we're I think to split the difference, we'll just put him low A tier,
and I'm okay with that as well. Yeah,
and we can reshuffle later because A tier is looking quite full at the moment.
yeah.
Legion.
Legion's S tier. I think he's been one of the best defenders in the game the last few seasons.
I don't understand people like they nerfed Legion, right? It was the most minimal nerf ever.
Yeah,
Like he lost impact
didn't it?
grenades, but
Didn't it like? It didn't even change like the time to kill or whatever
it
of
I don't
the damage. It's just like 5 or something, wasn't it?
he lost like 2 damage. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, that's crazy.
He lost like 2 damage and people are acting like it's the end of the world. Another thing is he lost his impact grenades, which I mean I guess, but you're not really supposed to be aggressive with Legion. You're not
No,
supposed to because the gadget has a slow recharge. The longer you're alive with Legion, the more
the
use you'll
better.
get out of them. So you're not really supposed to be in people's faces at the start of a round. And you have a super
Plus,
shorty, so you can make
yeah.
rotates and
Plus, you
head
have the
holes with
super
the super
shorty.
shorty. So what do you really
Yeah.
need impacts for? You need them for being aggressive, which you're not supposed to be. I don't really
No, not as
even
an anchor. No way.
even before he lost them, like before he lost impact grenades, I used the bulletproof camera anyway.
Well,
So
there you go.
yeah,
And then he also has like, in my opinion, maybe the best SMG in the game, the T5 SMG. I love that thing.
it's a great gun. I
It's
agree.
up there with like MP7, Vector, those kind of weapons.
I completely agree. You know what? Let's do both cam ops,
Let's do it.
Maestro and Valkyrie. Which one do you want to do first?
Um, I'll do Maestro and I'll give you my controversial take because Maestro is similar to Echo for me, where he just doesn't fit my playstyle. Anytime I play him, I do terribly. I would go B tier, but if you want to put A tier, I can understand the argument. Valkyrie is S tier, especially in a stack, but I think she's just great overall.
Yeah, I definitely disagree with B tier. But
Yeah.
I really disagree with A tier. I think he's C tier.
Oh, you think he's worse? Well, you
Maestro,
know what? I'm happy because I'd rather have Maestro in C than A. But I think that's going to anger a few people because I know there's like those dedicated Maestro mains out there. And if you're good at him, fair play to you.
I think they're all on console because Maestro is not very good on PC. Like he's not horrible, but
No.
they instantly repick Brava, and you go to shoot someone, they just immediately
Yeah.
flick to the cam and take it out. Like
See,
I
on
rarely
console, it's
ever get away
like,
with it.
yeah, on console, it's like people don't use 100% of their brain. So even if they see a Maestro, they'll only switch to a Brava like 70% of the time.
Yeah, I just don't think like at least on PC they just you almost never get away with zapping someone because they flick right to the cam, take it out
Yeah.
before the slide closes, and that's with trying to um like look up to block it. I maybe it's
Yeah.
just latency on my end, but like it I almost never get away with it. So I don't think Maestro's very good. I think he's C tier.
But
I
we agree Valkyrie is an S.
I yeah.
Okay.
We agree. We agree.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Um, you know what? We have both Bandit and Cade. Why don't we get Mute? Because he's kind
I
of
think Mute's S tier.
interesting. I can
Um,
I can vibe
he's
with that.
good not only for wall denial, kind of like a bandit. Um, obviously he's easily countered. You could just put a thermite charge at the top of the wall or whatever. But um, he also deals with drones, and getting rid of the information is crucial as a defender, especially the higher rank you climb. Information is like can win or lose a round. So mute can be the difference.
I agree. I think Mute is absolutely amazing. He's
Yeah,
really good shotgun. Really, like SMG 11 is amazing.
yeah, great loadout for a
Nitro
defender.
cell. Like if one of your teammates forgets to bring one of these two fellas, you can always bring Mute, and
Yeah,
stop the wall. Mute's really
yeah.
good. I think he
He's
does.
he's not a concrete wall denial, but like he kind of can do it as well, but
He's
just not properly.
in my opinion he's the worst wall denial, but he's still wall denial
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
because they can still place on it perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Um,
and some operators can keep it as well, can't they? Just pick it back up again,
yeah. Actually,
other than like a Hibana.
speaking of wall denial, Tubrel, who do you think he goes?
I'm going to be completely honest. Since he's released, I think I've played no more than maybe 4 rounds of him. So I think you have all the power in placing him. I have no opinion of Tubarel. I think I'd probably go A, but I just don't play him. So
I don't ban Tubrel because I'm scared of him. I ban Tubrel because like if he's with Bandit, then if he's with Bandit, he's S tier. If
yeah,
he's anywhere else, he's like C. Like yeah, it's a good gun. Okay, the MPX and the Maverick DMR, they're both really good guns,
I agree.
but the gadget doesn't do too much. Like yeah, sure you can stop a claymore and run out, but you what if there's no like I don't know. It's just I'd rather take a Solus and do that personally,
Yeah,
even with the
I agree.
Solus nerf, even with the Solus nerf, and like it doesn't even work with Cade because the Cade claw has to set up again, and by that point the thermite's gonna blow up the wall. It's
Yeah,
he's not very good. He's not very good. I think at highest he's B tier. I don't think he's D,
we'll go
but
B tier because, like you say, if he is paired with someone like a bandit, he can be game breaking, but he needs that. So he's kind of like B. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, I agree. All right, we have the other trap ops like Legion, Capcan, Ela. What about Thorn?
Thorn for me is probably, I don't know. See, I like her weapon again, but just not great overall. I'd go B, maybe high end of C,
I go
personally.
I would go C, and
Yeah.
I have a hot take way of playing Thorn. I don't use the SMG primary. I use the shotgun.
You know what? The M870, it's like one of the most underrated guns in the whole game. So I can feel you on that one. It's a good gun.
Because if I take the shotgun, I still have an SMG secondary, and then I have a shield.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
I can set up site all by myself. I can place a shield somewhere, trap some stuff, and then I can just use the SMG secondary. I would prefer if I had an SMG primary and a secondary shotgun, but I don't. In fact, I
Yeah.
think
You
that
just make the
in terms of versatility, Thorn is the best because with Capcan or Ella, or Legion, you technically do have the option of taking a shotgun, but then you don't have any good like viable secondary option to use in
yeah.
place at long range. So I think actually, you know what? I think Thorn can get a point for that. I think move up to B tier.
I'm okay with that. I Thorn's another one of those operators that I just don't play, so I don't really have much of an opinion on her.
All right. Do you have an opinion on
Malus,
Malusi?
not really. No. Once again, I'd go maybe B or C. I wouldn't go. Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
think B's fine.
I think definitely B. Definitely B.
I th-
Like
I think before she got ACOG on the MP5, she was maybe C
it,
at best.
the problem with the gadget is just, it's so large. Like this
Yeah.
because people can shoot it once it activates. So you kind of need to put it in a place where it's awkward to shoot, but it's so large that like it doesn't really fit into a lot of spots that you'd like to put a Fenrir, for example, or a Wamai. It doesn't fit there.
Yeah.
It's clunky to place, but once someone is trapped in it, it's pretty good. You get a really good primary. You get an ACOG on that MP5. It's definitely better than C tier. A is
Yeah.
debatable, but I think she belongs somewhere in B. I think
Yeah. I'm happy to go just below Jaeger,
yeah.
above Echo. Yeah. And I've just thought of something while you were explaining that. Imagine if Malusi deployed her gadgets like a Wamai, like they were smaller and she could just throw them, kind of like a proximity alarm, but like it's a Malusi gadget.
I want to see the overhead throw for the Malusi.
Yeah, both arms. Oh
both
god, yeah,
both
that'd be
arms
great.
overhead, just chuck that thing. All right,
Right.
Mira. I think this is also another litmus test.
Um, yeah, since the likes of Ash being able to counter her, and just in general being able to counter her by punching it, there's only a handful of maps where Mira's still like an S tier operator on. So I'd go maybe B.
B. Okay.
B, yeah, personally.
See, in my personal opinion, a lot of the so-called counters or problems with Mira are skill issues. Like
Yeah,
if someone can just walk up and hit the Mira, that's your fault. Okay, that's not Mira's
I
fault. That's
agree. Yeah,
yours. And with an Ash charge, yeah, okay, bring Jaeger, bring Wamai.
yeah,
It's a team based game. If you're concerned about two operators, Ash and Callie, countering it, act accordingly. It's not like half the roster counters Mira like they do with
no,
Maestro. It's
yeah.
like it's I think that Mira could be an A tier a lot of the time because I just think a lot of the problems are just okay, that's your fault. Like
Well, how about we do this? I think she belongs right at the top of B tier, but just below Castle, or
I
maybe
agree.
above Castle.
No, I like Castle more.
Oh, there
Castle's
we go then.
Castle's
Beautiful.
better.
There we go.
All right, Mozzie.
Mozzie's interesting because he's kind of like Mute. He denies the information and he gives drones to the defenders, which is like extra cameras which he can set up. I think he's just so easy to play. I'd go A.
I agree.
Easy. Easy A.
I agree. In fact, I'd move him above Capcan.
Yeah, for PC reasons. I'd also probably bump him up. I'd probably put him above the new recruit as well. Um, just for ease of use. Like you don't really have to think. You put your pest down, then you move your camera. If you catch anything early round,
Word of advice: if you are really new to Siege, right, and you're watching one of these tier list videos to get an idea of what ops to buy, if you still have the newcomer playlist, I do not recommend bringing Mozzie because your teammates will shoot the drones that you capture. So in
yeah,
in,
true.
in lower ranks and newcomer areas, people will sabotage the Mozzie, not intentionally, but they'll do it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, even
so
myself, I've had it a few times where Mozzie has captured a drone I'm shooting at, and then I still shoot the drone just before he captures it. And I'm like, oh, I just wasted his gadget there.
yeah,
Just because it's not something that I'm consciously thinking about all the time.
hmm I agree. Plus,
But yeah, I think 8 is good for him.
if you're really weird, you can pilot the drone to cover up a claymore, and then you can just
Yeah, I've seen
swing.
that. That's an oddly specific situation, but it's kind of cool.
Like if you're on chalet, right, and they put the claymores up, break the window.
Mm,
If they think they're safe because of the claymore, just cover it. Makes no sound cue, and you can hop out. Um, but it's again very specific. I don't think that warrants putting him up any, but
no,
I, yeah, not even
but
close.
yeah,
But
A's good. A's good. Yeah.
yeah, what do you think about Oryx?
Oryx C, maybe D. Personally,
I put him on D, honestly. Like I don't think Oryx is. I think
he's really not great, is he?
the only time where I want to play Oryx is basement on bank, because that way I can get all the
Yeah,
hatches by myself.
yeah,
That's the only
I,
reason.
I like that. Yeah,
Because like you can just send one person to get hatches, but like that's the only reason. The dash is
yeah.
not
You
useful.
shouldn't be using an operator because of his movement speed. I don't think. So
Yeah, and
that clearly shows me that there's not really a whole lot that he's offering to the team.
there's the argument that, oh, but he can knock down shields. Okay.
I don't see that
if
happen.
if you've ever been, it's a very rare circumstance where that's even possible because people don't usually just let him walk up to you. But
Yeah,
if you've ever been in one of those situations, you know that you can just tap your D key and he misses, and then you just shoot him. Like
yeah.
it's not useful at all. He's D tier in my opinion. In fact,
I
he's worse
I
than
think a
Cav.
good buff. I think a good buff for him would be for Ubisoft to make him actually hit shields easier, because then he'd actually have a purpose. But right now he's just so useless.
Yeah, and when he dashes, instead of having like to side check someone, he just extends his
Mm.
arms in a T pose. He dashes towards them like
That'd be
that.
so. That'd be silly,
The
but I
most
think that'd be
ridiculous
great.
thing. I
Yeah.
think it'd be super funny for like, oh, maybe a week, and then it would get really kind of boring and cringy
Yeah, this
almost.
April Fool's update sounded great. Got the Malusi changes.
Hire us,
That,
hire
yeah.
us, Ubisoft.
Give us an arcade mode. Give us a week. We'll give you the ideas.
Give us a mode where we can have 5 of the same operator,
Yeah,
and
that's all we need.
Oryx sprints with his arms outstretched, like he's going in for a hug.
Yeah.
Um, all right, Pulse. What do you think of Pulse?
Pulse is just solid overall. I think if you are able to play underneath an objective with a soft floor, that's where he excels, being able to see fall through the floor. Um, and late game being able to deny the plant and stuff. But for the most part, probably just B.
I agree. Honestly, he's better than Thorn. He's better than Two Brow. Better than Echo. I don't think he's better than Melusi.
Depends on the map, but yeah, I'd agree. It's a good
Yeah.
score for him.
You know, the conversation earlier about these two being either S tier or horribly underpowered has got me thinking about Solus.
S. I think even with the nerf that's coming up, where she can't use it during the drone phase, yes, not going to be a useful addition, but I think it'll be S still.
Ready for my opinion?
You think she's going to be useless after this change, don't
That's
you?
absolutely correct. Um,
To be fair, I do see what you're saying, but I don't think she'll drop all the way to D. I think she'll drop down to like C,
I mean,
maybe.
hear me out. Not only, okay, think about it this. I think Solus did need a nerf, but I disagree with the nerf because imagine Solus gets the most use out of the drone phase,
Yeah,
right? Because she can hunt down drones. But
yeah,
take Smoke for example. He his gadget gets the most use in the final minute of the match because that's
yeah,
when people are pressured and that's where you can stop them and they have to either run through it or they run out of time. What if we made it so he can't use his gadget in the last minute of the round?
yeah. Okay,
Smoke,
I see your point. You know
I
what? I'm with you here. D
you,
tier. Fuck it.
you take well. There's more because there's more to the nerf. The range is less. You have less charge. You can't use it halfway through charge. Like it just it's like that's the update that they should have given it
No,
instead.
you know what they need
Just
to
a
do?
general range nerf, the time nerf. That's what they should have given it, and that would have maybe
Yeah,
dropped her down to A or B. But removing her the ability to use her gadget in the most important part just
yeah.
completely nuked her. And I think that I'm not advocating that we want Solus to be able to do it because Solus doesn't really fit the game to begin with. But if we're talking about how good we want Solus to be, then that does nuke her. Like
You know what I think they need to actually do, or if they've even thought about this or not. What I think would be a great change is when you load up into the round and you're in the prep phase, it starts out with a very small radius, but as the round goes on, the radius reaches the max radius that it's at now. So when it comes to the last minute, she's got the full range that she currently has, but like in the drone phase where she is a big problem, it's a much smaller radius.
so like it warms up almost.
Yeah, so it's got like a warm up time.
See, actually
Or
I like that.
even if it's just through the prep phase even, where it just warms up through the prep phase and then when action phase starts, it's already at maximum capacity. I feel that would be a great addition.
I actually really like that. See, my idea was just that it started at 0 and then would fill up, so you'd get to use it halfway through drone phase, but not in the early half. But honestly,
Yeah.
the gradual warm up I think is a lot cooler. But that's a different topic. Where are we putting Solus for now? Because you thought S, I think D.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking straight. I completely forgot the severity of the change. I forgot that it's not just the prep phase thing. I forgot that the radius and stuff is also getting worse.
It's a complete
So
nuke.
go
Like
D. Just go D. I agree with you. And you know what? I actually only played Solace for the drone stuff. I actually don't even like the P90 as a weapon either.
Really? I mean, you can always take the shotgun for a primary and just use SMG
Yeah,
11.
yeah, which is probably what I would do after this patch if I ever did play her,
Yeah, because
because
then you
I
can
don't
set
really
up.
like the P90 that much.
Didn't Solus also lose her impacts on top
I
of
don't know,
on
but
top of all
we
of
might
this?
have to drop her even below D.
I mean, the real question is, do we put her above or below Clash?
I'll let you choose, man.
And if it was Callie, it would be all the way down here. But
Yeah.
we'll leave her above Clash because I know that there's still some people who are going to be like, no, Shuttle is just my favorite operator. But it's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my child, not anymore. So this is horrible now. But I brought up Smoke in my rant about how bad Solus is. Where do you think
Yeah.
Smoke belongs?
I think Smoke is very strong. I would go S tier, but as you say, I feel like the gadget is not useless up until the last minute, but is definitely not as strong. So maybe I'd go top end of A tier.
And if they start rushing immediately, then the gas will really like, put a fork in
Slow them
things,
down.
put a wrench in things. I believe is the saying. Um,
Yeah, low end of S or high end of A, I'm happy with either. It's up to you.
I think he belongs right there.
I'm happy with that.
This is crazy. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put Vigil next because if we take
Which,
Vigil now, not there, but well, not even there. This placeholder, guys. These last four are all stinkers in my opinion, so we'll put them last. What do you think
yeah,
about Vigil?
I think Vigil's also a stinker. To be
Really?
completely honest,
Really?
yeah, I'd go high end of C because I see so many people not even using his gadget properly. I'd go above Ella. Um, yeah, I'd go in and amongst that group. That those four I feel are at a similar level, and this is coming from someone who actually used to main Vigil from what year two up until like year five maybe. Like I played him a lot, and I just don't think he's as not even as strong because he's always had the same kind of ability. But I don't know. I just think there's better operators in the game now.
I play with a guy who's really 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 good with the SMG 12, and he's also really really good with the Boss G.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
he makes Vigil work really well. But if we're just in an objective, not taking in the 1% who's good with X op, then
Yeah,
I do think Vigil isn't very good, especially because
yeah, yeah,
if you have a drone, you still have the he still makes the things that you don't know where he is. I was playing this one match. I had a flank watch drone. I was dead. I was watching the drone, and all of a sudden these bars come up. It's like, oh guys, there's a Vigil behind us. Vigil died. Like
yeah,
it's almost a giveaway. It's
yeah. I kind of don't like how obvious it is that there's a vigil near you because you don't even have to be in the same room as him. If you're just like within a radius, it kind of just tells you.
yeah, exactly. I think he belongs C tier. I think your placement of him is pretty good.
Yeah, I think high end of C is fine.
All right, now we have a bunch of absolute stinkers. These guys all
Yeah,
suck.
Rook for me, low end of B. I mean, it gives your teammates a little bit more HP and it's very easy to play. So if you're new to the game, low rank, pick it. It's just simple. Um, but once you're out of even silver, he becomes quite useless. And it's not the fact that he's bad, it's just the fact that he's just not strong. You know what I mean? And the fact that you can go down now and get revived, no one goes down and don't get finished immediately unless it's like a niche situation. So
or your ally comes in just in time to save you.
yeah,
Um,
you very rarely get picked back up again in Siege, and yeah, it doesn't really add much to Rook in
I
my opinion. I think he's just be
I think he's a good new player op, not because he's a good op,
yeah
but like because you spawn in,
simple.
you place your armor, and right then and there you've done something for your team. Go and be free.
Yeah,
Go learn the map. Go practice
yeah,
your gun skill. Like
yeah. You just
there's
don't have to worry about doing anything or using something at the right time. It's just put it down. You've helped every individual player on your team and yourself. If someone goes down and you get a revive, great. But other than that, you're just focused on the gunplay at that point.
if I see a rook in my lobbies, I will be very sad. But like for lower rank, he's fine. Like just go
Yeah,
place it, be free.
yeah. I agree.
What do you think about Tachanka?
Um, See, that's a tough one because I think we was talking about face checking stuff with Grim in our video, and as Tachanka, you're like Goyo, but you have to face check everything. The reload's really slow. It takes really long to take out and put your thing away. I'd go low end of C, maybe high end of D.
See,
What do you
in
think?
my opinion, there are three types of Tachanka opinions. Okay,
Yeah,
there's your opinion where it's like this guy's is kind of bad, you know. There is the
yeah,
praise the Lord Tachanka, he's the best op in the game. Oh my,
yeah.
in my I have the third opinion that he's simultaneously overrated and underrated.
Yeah,
Um,
it really comes down to how good you are
you're not
as a player. Because if you know which areas to block off with the fire and you're actually able to accurately hit it from a safe position, then he's good. But that is such a small percent of the player base that it's not even worth bringing. You're better
and
off just putting down a Goya.
they can balance, you know. You don't really have to face check, especially because you have a shield.
Yeah,
You can just sit behind it. Oh, is someone coming? I'll just look up and then I'll shoot, and then it works.
yeah,
It's like I think because you have the most time that you can area denial. It's like what is it like 180 seconds or something?
yeah. It's kind of
If you
crazy.
use all of them, I think that there will be that time and there will be that place where Tachanka is an amazing pick. In fact, if back when I would play casual a lot, I would take him on plane because there's so many cramped
Yeah,
alleyways and they you can just
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like 2/3 of the round they
I
can't
see that.
move. It's there's a time and a place. I think he'll be better for standard once the casual maps come in this next season. So
Yeah.
personally, I don't agree with him being down here, but he's also I wouldn't put him higher than B. I I think we'll put him right.
I think if he was in B tier, he'd be all the way at the edge. And I
Yeah, he
think the
would.
highest I'm happy to put him in C tier is just below Ella.
I agree. I think as a whole, like being more fair, put him here. But if we're taking ideal, then he can move up to the end of B.
Yeah. But Tachanka's like that's the highest I would place him. I would personally probably put him right at the bottom of C or even at the top of D, personally.
Yeah, we're gonna leave him here.
Yeah, it's
Thunderbird.
fine. Thunderbird, once again, kind of mid. Very similar to Rook, where you can just set it down and forget it, and then you can heal someone up if they walk past it. But what I don't like is you can also heal the attackers if they get onto the site or find your Thunderbird gadget. And then it could be a hindrance to the team. So, once again, C tier, high end of C,
Really? I mean, I
personally, yeah.
really I don't like Thunderbird. I will be very honest with you when I say that I do not like Thunderbird. I would
She's not
rather
great, no.
I'd rather take Doc. Um,
Yeah, me too. Doc's definitely better in every category actually. Doc is just better.
if you're a new player and you want to heal people, but you also don't want to be the little water boy in sight, then play Thunderbird. Then you can put all your things
Yeah,
and then go be free, just like Rook. Then
I
people
agree.
will heal each other. Just don't lose sight because if you lose sight, that'll be really bad. Warden, Warden, the
Well, Warden was very frag heavy. Very frag heavy when he had the 1.5, which wasn't that long ago. But since then, he's kind of lost that, and he only really counters what sends and smoke grenades. So maybe Glaz
yeah, maybe
and
glass.
Ying.
Yeah,
Um, But other than those three operators, if those three operators weren't in the game, or smoke grenades weren't in the game, whatever, he'd be a D tier operator. But for specifically countering those people, I'd put him maybe high end to C, low end to B.
in my opinion, he's only used as either you're memeing. Because I mean, personally,
Yeah,
my pick for him is I actually use shotgun pistol. That's actually what
yeah,
I use on Warden. Because it's funny to me. But like
yeah,
in an actual ranked environment, you don't use this guy unless they did something last round. Like
yeah.
I
I agree. Like if they've had a Ying for 3 rounds in a row or 2 rounds in a row, then you go Warden.
Yeah, I
Or
kid you.
if they've been playing Glaz through smoke, then you bring a warden or whatever.
Yeah, I
But
kid you not. On cafe, I took a sense for kitchen cafe. I got a
yeah,
3K, and I was about to plant diffuser when the last guy died. Like I found a thing that really worked. They took warden next round, and we lost. So for stuff like that, it's really good. But as like a, you don't pick this guy first. Like
he's just a very niche counter op. You never play him as like a main.
yeah, I don't. I want him somewhere in C. I think either
Yeah.
he's top three in C. I don't know.
I think he's third in C,
All right,
and I'm
that's it.
quite happy with that. Is there any changes that you'd like to make? Because I'm happy with S tier. I think S tier is fine. A tier is great. The only one that I don't agree with is maybe Frost, but that's fine. I'm okay with her being an A because she can be effective. B tier is fine again. Maybe Echo's a little low. Two Brown might be a little bit low. Um, C tier, it's fine. D tier, only Kavira could go up, but other than that, I'm happy.
I think we'll move Frost to the very end of A tier.
I'm happy with that
Actually, you
because
know
I'd
what?
rather someone accidentally walk through a Capcan trap than a Frost mine.
I think
Because
we'll actually put Frost at
yeah,
B because I would rather take Castle. Mira is really good in the right
yeah,
circumstances.
I agree. Right map, she's fine. But that's what you were saying about Frost anyway. On Skyscraper, she's very good, right?
Yeah,
So
very good.
depends on the map if you know certain spots. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
I can see Tubarão going up just a little bit. I don't know if I want him higher than
Yeah.
that.
Um, I could make a case for Tubrel being maybe above Jaeger, but I don't know about overtaking Doc. So that is a good spot for me there.
All right, and you said Echo as well, right?
Uh, well, it depends on the type of player you are, but I am happy with Echo there. But I'm just saying I can see why other people watching this video may think Echo should be higher. But I personally think he's fine there.
I mean, it's
And other than that,
I think a
I'm
lot of
happy.
these ops, the ops down here are that you have to be the right player, or
Yeah,
they just nerf this one into oblivion. But the ones in here are like anyone can play this op, and
yeah, and they're good every round, any map, doesn't matter.
I think Echo really is middle ground, or you kind of have to be good to get the full thing of Echo,
Yeah,
but he's not bad.
he's
Like
not. Yeah, he's not useless on every round. Like every round, you will get use out of him.
yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
yeah, we'd leave that.
Yeah, it's fine. I like that.
All right. That's the tier list, the Defender one.
There we go. Let us know, guys, in the comments if you agree or disagree, where you agree with us with.
And you know what would
We
be
got the attacker
cool?
list.
You know what would be cool? If you,
What's
the
that?
audience, go over to Showerhead's video where we did the attacker tier list. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
sick.
they're. I feel like we agreed a lot more on the defenders than the attackers.
Oh yeah, if you want an argument, go over to that one.
Yeah, yeah, we, yeah. We could just cut the video there. I think that's a good ending.
All right.